So I think we really want to start when we're thinking about core about why. Why are we doing this? And this is something that wasn't said in the context of core at all, but Susan Abeline said this yesterday when we were talking about dreams. And this truly is the reality, is that literacy breaks boundaries for our students in every way, regardless of the background that they're coming from. Literacy really is the key to breaking those boundaries in their relations with each other, in their relations and access to college and to career. But this, I feel, is the #1 key and gift that we can give them on the academic piece of breaking boundaries, in addition to what we give them in forming them as a person and in their faith. But when we think about implementing the Common Core, there's a lot out there. So if you've tried to dive in on your own, you might have felt like this, where you just wanted to look at everything out there and we're totally overwhelmed and just, really were in this daze. Or maybe you found a better strategy and you said, I can just look at a little bit, and you found a way to pull some information from core. Maybe your teachers did too, but you're still missing a whole lot of what it can do and what it can do for our students. So our goal is to help get to this, where we can get all of that important information and not lose sight of the amazing pieces that core can bring to our students and to ourselves at our schools, but that we can distill it in a way that's manageable in how it's coming out, so that everyone can partake in it and everyone can feel comfortable understanding it. So even though in just a second you are going to feel like the little girl, before you leave today, our goal is to get to the end, to the bottom picture. So we're just drinking out of the fountain and having life within our schools. So are you ready? Yes. Good. Okay. So how are we going from the overwhelming piece down to something that's much more distilled and we can follow step by step? That's what we're trying to do with the creation of this implementation guide. The implementation guide is to help us with this process, because implementing the Common Core is intense. It means taking the list of standards and making it a reality in our school. And to do that, we have to completely develop curriculum, instruction, and assessments based off that list. That's a big task. So what we wanted to do was break it down step by step so that you can work on it all year long continually within your school. The implementation guide that I'm about to pass out has 5 components to it to help you with that. First, it's numbered by steps. Then each step has specific tasks to accomplish at that time. There's a suggested time frame to get those tasks done in terms of the number of faculty meetings that it might take you. I average one meeting to mean 60 to 90 minutes, because I assume most of our meetings are hopefully much longer than that, but this is a portion of what you're doing. Then a method. When is it appropriate to have the whole faculty doing it together? Because one of the benefits of core is that there's so much vertical alignment across the school. When can we do it in grade level teams? When can teachers do pieces individually? So that's indicated. And finally, there's a list of resources. These are all the templates, the PowerPoints, the research, anything that you might need to help facilitate the process at your site. Okay? So we're just going to give you a minute. Remember, pray. And know that the first site might feel a little bit overwhelming, and that's okay. We are going to condense it down so that by the time you leave today, you feel completely ready to do the first few steps that are on here. So I'm going to give you a minute actually to just read through. Think about what is the structure of what you see. Are there any words and terms you already feel comfortable with, or are there ones you know you're going to need some professional development on that? So with what you see on the page, we're probably all over the place with our comfort level with the terminology that might be on there. So you might be feeling expert. I actually know all these things. As long as it's paced out, I'm good to go. You might be feeling, okay, I'm kind of intermediate. I know a bit about this. I'm good. I just need a little support. Or you might totally feel like a novice, and there are tons of things on there that you really have no idea about what you're going to do tomorrow with that in your school. The important thing to doing this is going to be the professional development, that everyone has the tools they need to feel comfortable with the process to be able to lead it within their school site, and especially for this group, for helping to support the other principals and leading it as well. So here's the professional development. You know this has been a 2-year process for moving to core. Last year was really, our goal was to outline the vision and to lay the foundation. So we talked about the structure of core. We talked about how to make sure that the teachers start analyzing it and just looking at what's there. Because it was just foundational, this PD structure worked. However, This doesn't really work going into this step because obviously a lot more intensive development needs to happen to have everyone to feel that they're comfortable to do this when they're in school. So in stage 2 for implementation, to make this professional development work, we know it has to be ongoing. It can't be a one-time workshop. We know that it needs to be supported the entire time through dialogue and collaboration. So this is really, when Anna Maria and I were talking, is our vision of how to better support and do this level of the professional development. So it starts with the top with DCS and Anna Maria and I, and working with the rest on our staff to really try to create a helpful framework and the resources. To then bring that to you at Leadership Council, who can then help bring that to the principals at the deanery meetings. The principals then take that and work at their school sites, but come back to the deanery meetings and start collaborating, share feedback, share concerns and troubles, and how can we work through this together, but to also get the next level of professional development to take to their school. And the idea that this would be cyclical every month, kind of continuing within this professional development process to help everyone along the way. So that's our big goal, and that's why we need you. So let's get started. Our vision is that everyone will receive up front an initial workshop for these first 4 steps, and they will come having implemented them in their schools before their first deanery meeting in September. But like we said, in valuing your time and also wanting to give you a context to be able to ask comfortably any question you need in this area, we wanted to give you these first 4 steps separately as well.